Hey folks, I want to talk about something exciting that happened to me since I've been on the carnivore diet. Well, first it was keto, then it was pure carnivore for a little while, and now I find that I do better with a few low carb veggies, some onions, some peppers, and I eat some naturally fermented coleslaw and carrots, but 90% I'm just meat. That used to be mostly beef, but beef has gotten so expensive in the stores now. It's chicken legs, chicken thighs, pork, it's whatever is on sale cheap, right? And I do eat beef still, but I can't afford to eat beef with every meal. And so, what happened was I caught a cold. Now, before I went keto or carnivore, I used to get sick all the time. I weighed 200 pounds more. I was fat. I was diabetic as all get out. I had A1Cs in the 14s on 300 units of insulin every day. And I tried to eat the right diabetic diet that the nutritionist told me about, but it was all carbs and there was so little food that just left you ravenously hangry all the time. And then I learned, I watched Dr. Berry and I learned keto, and I started doing a really clean keto at first. And then it went to a dirty keto and it didn't work so well. Then I just cleaned it up and went carnivore for about 6 or 8 months of pure carnivore. And that was great. But I found today I'm mostly meat, like 90% meat, but I still have a few veggies and I seem to do better that way. I just like it better. But I got sick. I woke up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. with a sore throat that it was on fire sore. I gargled with salt water. I started taking Cipro, which I keep plenty of antibiotics on hand. And so I started taking some Cipro. I gargled with some salt water. And then, by that morning, I didn't go back to sleep. I couldn't sleep. But by the morning when I was supposed to go to work, my sinuses just kicked in full blast, like plugged up sinuses. And I was like, great, here we go. I know this story because, see, when I used to be really fat and really overweight, I used to catch every single cold that came along, and it used to take forever. It used to turn into serious bronchitis every single time. Sometimes it turned into pneumonia. Now, I smoked back then. So smoking's like pouring gasoline on a fire. It just, it really takes a little bit of a cough and turns it into a full-blown I can't breathe, I'm gonna die, right? You switch to the menthols, but that still doesn't help. So they would last 3 or 4 weeks, and then I would just get over them and I would catch another one, and I spent the whole time sick. I would cough until I lost my voice from coughing. I would blow my nose so much that it would be rubbed raw and it would be bleeding. It was just 3 months of pure heck. And I still had to go to work like that, like most people, they get sick, they take a day or 2 off work and then they're back. But not me. I was just really sick all the time. And so a lot of people say, well, you don't get enough vitamin C on the carnivore diet, and you're not getting these nutrients and stuff that come from all these wonderful, wonderful plants. And nutrients from plants are not often bioavailable to you. So I have to say, I got sick. I got a really sore throat. I got a really stuffy nose. And by the next day, it was better. So I called off sick to work that one day. The next day, I went back. I was still a little stuffy, but my throat felt a whole lot better. I fasted. I didn't eat anything. And by that evening, I was feeling quite a bit better. I came out here and worked on my son's car. And I started feeling a little worse that evening before bed. Like, you always feel worse when it's time to lay down and go to bed. I don't know why, but not terrible. And really, within 3 days, it was gone. It just went away. Like, I wasn't sick anymore. I felt great. So that is like 3 to 4 weeks versus 3 days, right? Often on the carnivore diet now, I'm around people who are sick all the time. I fix their computers, touch their mice and their keyboards, and they cough and sneeze on you and on their keyboard all day long. I never really ever catch it. Or if I do catch it, it's just a little minor sniffle for a half of a day and then I'm over it, right? And this is the first time I've gotten something where I'm like, wow, I'm really sick. But it wasn't that bad. I didn't have to take any NyQuil or Dayquil or cough medicine or cold and flu over-the-counter remedies. It just wasn't that bad. It was like a minor thing compared to what it used to be. And I will say that's awesome. Like, I can't believe how well I got over that. I did a post on YouTube that said something like, oh, I woke up with a really sore throat, blah, blah, blah. And like, people are like, oh, you need to take zinc and you need to take vitamin C and you need to take this and you need to take that and take some iodine and I eat popcorn with salt and, all kinds of recommendations. All I did was gargle with salt water and I took some Cipro because my throat hurt. And I got better. I felt better. Now the Cipro, it might have been bacterial and the Cipro might have helped, but it might have been viral and the Cipro didn't do a darn thing. But I used to take Cipro and all kinds of other antibiotics every time I got sick. I would go back to the doctor 3 or 4 times for more antibiotics. It's just, it was insane. And if nothing else, my knees work now. I don't have diabetic leg ulcers. My shoulder works. I can go for walks. I enjoy getting out and doing stuff and working during the day. I don't like to sit at home in my chair and watch TV because I don't even have a TV, right? I just like to work. I like to do things. I enjoy it. That's my entertainment, right? I'm not like tired all the time and sleeping in on the weekends. Like, I get up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock usually on the weekends. This morning I slept until 7. But, I'm up, I'm doing things. Like today I'm cleaning out the garage and, I'm always up and I always have something to do. And I just like to stay busy. I like to do things. It's really been a complete change in my life. From going down the road to where I had to drag myself out of bed and make myself go to work and make myself fix a car, even though I didn't feel like it, make myself work in the garden, even though I didn't feel like it. Now I'm like, sweet, I get to go do some work. Now I enjoy life. I enjoy life. I don't look to the government to fix my life problems. I don't look to doctors to fix my life health problems. I don't look to anybody to do it. I just fix them myself. Increasingly, people are just turning to doctors and medicine to get that next pill that'll help this or help that. And you don't have to. All you have to do is eat proper human food. 98% of what's in your grocery store is not human food. It's chemicals put together in a box to make them taste good that are highly toxic and poisonous to you. Don't eat that crap. Just don't. I know it seems like you're going to go to McDonald's and have a cheeseburger, and that's not that bad. Look at what's in a McDonald's cheeseburger bun. All the seed oil, preservatives, high fructose corn syrup. That stuff is really, really bad for you. You're so much better off to just get a piece of steak and cook it at home in some bacon grease and eat that sucker. And you'll be healthy. And all of this crap that they try to throw on you, like, oh, you need statins because your cholesterol's too high and you're going to die of a heart attack, and blah, blah, blah. I've had a complete CTA scan, stress test, nuclear tests, and a coronary calcium score done. I had a stroke. Right, October last year, I had a stroke. I had all the tests done to see if there was any blockages in my arteries because they wanted to put me on statins, buddy. And I told them no. So they did all these tests. My vegan cardiologist did all these tests. No blockages, coronary calcium score of 0. And by not taking the statins, my brain was able to make the LDL and get the cholesterol that it needed to form the new neurogenic pathways to teach myself how to work around what at first seemed like a serious disability. I was basically unable to walk. I was seeing double. I was blind. I had numbness on the right side of my body. My hand didn't work right. I was like, I'm not going to be able to go on with life after this. I couldn't drive for 3 months, right? And all of that came back with the correct physical rehab and just doing every day, making myself do something new and learn how to do it right. It all came back. Now, I don't know if I had a stroke in a different part of my brain or it was a worse stroke, if that would have been the case. But I definitely had a stroke. I had high blood pressure still. They've since diagnosed my hypertension as pulmonary and have me on the correct medication now. But I feel great. I feel wonderful. No matter where you are in life, no matter how fat you are, how sick you are, how many drugs you take, how terrible you feel, eating a proper human diet will bring back so much that you've lost. Yes, some damage is going to be permanent. You're never going to get it back. But you could live 90% better than you live right now. No matter if you've had heart attacks, if you've had strokes, if you've had whatever medical condition you have, eating human food that you're supposed to eat, that you've eaten for thousands of years, your ancestors have eaten, eating the proper human diet is going to make you feel so much better than you feel right now. So I just want to say that I got sick and I got over it in 3 days. And except for 1 day off of work, I kept working while I was sick. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was annoying, it was a nuisance, but that's all it was. It wasn't like my lungs were on fire and I couldn't get any oxygen, right? It wasn't like my head was going to explode and I wasn't taking like half bottles of NyQuil trying to get some kind of relief. It just wasn't that bad. So, as far as people who say you're not getting the right vitamins and you're going to get sick on carnivore, it just isn't true. It's just not true. There's so much that we have thought that we've figured out about the human body and we still don't know. The way exactly the liver works and exactly your metabolism works and everything inside your body is still somewhat of a mystery, right? And everybody thinks they know and they figured it out. But the truth is you just have to eat the food that you were created by God to eat. And you'll live just fine. And you'll probably live a long time. You probably won't get heart disease. You might still have a stroke if you have pulmonary hypertension. You might still, get old and eventually things quit working just from age when you're 92 years old. But you will feel good and live a long, healthy life. You don't have to worry about cancer so much because you don't cancer doesn't happen. Cancer is fueled by the sugar of the ultra-refined carbohydrates in a diet. Right? These just aren't things that you'll have to worry about. All right, folks. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.